In 2025, UK house prices rose by about 1.9%, and an S&P 500 UCITS ETF also returned well around 17.6%. On the other hand, the Vanguard FTSE All World UCITS ETF also returned 22.6%. All in the year 2025. Yet in the UK, say to someone you have £50,000 and the first thing you'll be hearing, buy a property. Of course, buy a property. I'm not against you investing into properties because I am a property investor. But I think it's about time we stop looking at property as the only serious way of building wealth. Well, once again, I'm here with the numbers. Let's look at it. Now, let's talk about what this actually do with holding £50,000. And so in the year 2025, once again, let's assume you and I had £50,000. It means at 22.6, we were receiving, well, approximately 11,300. And at 17.6, approximately, we were looking at 8,800. In 1 year. That is the growth. If you had invested in the S&P 500 and the Vanguard FTSE UCITS, this is what you would have accrued. Now, property is different because you can actually use leverage. And with this, what am I talking about? So a property value £200,000. If we had purchased that property last year with us holding £50,000 as deposit, that would have been 25% on that property. Now, that money goes down as a deposit for that property, which is great. And so now we have acquired a property. That means in the year 2025, that property would have risen by 1.9%, which gives us a return of £3,800. That sounds like a joke. So in 2025, the property gave us 3,800 with £50,000 invested. Now, hold it. Property becomes powerful because you remember that we are in probably a buy-to-let facility. And so we're going to have tenants in here. And so, yes, growth plus how much you are earning from tenancy. And so it becomes powerful. But then check this. Then we have stamp duty. Then we have solicitors. Then we have maintenance. Then we have this, we have that, we have that, we have that. Yes, so it's great. Property investment actually is good. Your money is secured, though the return can be as liquid as the stock market. But we shouldn't overlook the fact that there are other opportunities out there beyond property. And to me, I think this is how the conversation should be channeled. I'm not debunking investing into properties, but what I'm trying to say is there are other options one needs to tap in. And if you want proper diversification, then property can be a subject of your portfolio. And we should also have a bit on the other side if we can. But I'm not ending here. The calculation does not end here. Let's move on to the next level. Now, let's look at the stock market. I actually do not need £50,000 to invest in the stock market. I start with my 50, my 10, my 20, my 100, and my 150. That is all I need to begin investing in the stock market. And with something as little as £100, as a £50, I gain exposure into hundreds and if not thousands of companies. All right. Whilst now, on the other hand, we'll be thinking about the tenancy. We're thinking about the periods where the property is vacant. And we will also be thinking about the risk. But you see, on the other side, when it comes to properties, we don't usually think of the risk. Now, assume I have £50,000 tied in the stock market because the seasons are bad. In 2025, I think it was one of the strong years, if I can compare to other years. And so the return was good. Now, I'm not saying there is always going to be 17% and 22% on the stock market. But let's check this. How about it? You actually lock in £50,000 in one property, which you can't easily sell. How about you locking £50,000 into a property that at the moment may not have a tenant occupying the property? That is also another risk. But the problem is we are familiar with properties, and so we don't talk about these things. And even though it's also risky on that front, we don't think about the risk side when it comes to properties. What we think about is the market falling, the instability, volatility. That's what we're thinking about. But it's the same to properties. The difference is you understand a little bit more when it comes to properties. But when it comes to the stock market, you are like an alien. You're like a visitor. You haven't taken the needed time to actually study how the market works. So that is where we have the misfunctional problems. You understand? And so to me, yes, the stock market is there. Properties is there. But can we have both if we can? Can we have both? And if we can have one, is property the first option? That's food for thought. Yeah. Here is where I think people lose here. So someone tells me I'm not investing yet because I'm saving towards a property. And for the purpose of illustration, let's assume each month they are able to save £500. £500 for 1 year is £6,000. For 2 years is £12,000. For 3 years is £18,000. And their target is the third year. The third year, we now have £18,000. Probably we are nowhere near purchasing the property because of where we want to live and probably the cost of the property. But the same 3 years, I could have moved £400 into the stock market, probably put 100 into that savings account or a high yield savings account just to shield, and the rest into the stock market. And I'll be moving roll around 25 to 26, £27,000 at the end of the year. You understand? And so it is dependent on the split and what your intentions are. And once again, what your knowledge is when it comes to money. That is what I keep saying. That tool called money, you need to find a way to understand in its liquid form. You understand? Otherwise, we always make it complex and we intend we'll lose years and we'll be losing money. The same amount of money, we'll be losing it to inflation. Because 18,000 at the end of 3 years. Probably, even if you add a little bit more, considering how much you may be making from your savings account, how much would that be? Move it to the stock market and see what it does. I'm not talking about you having an exposure into individual companies. Moving to the UCITS, once again, 22.6% in the year 2025. Now, I'm still saying this. This is not me saying that every year, that is the return that should be expected on the market. But what I'm trying to say is for 3 years, there could have been a way we would do better with £500 each month. Now, here is the hard truth. Diversification is not owning 3 properties. If you own 3 properties, you own 3 properties, and that is fine. You haven't diversified. Therefore, properties are an asset. Stocks are assets. Bonds has its place. Cash has its purpose. So I refuse to be tied to one asset class. If you want proper diversification, then a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit here, and a little bit here, then you are well diversified. Here, I'm not admonishing you to actually go and sell your property and move your cash into an ETF. That is not what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to actually encourage investors to do is to understand what real diversification means. It's not only a portfolio full of properties. No. Find a means of diversifying proper. Once again, thank you so much. This is Yad Finance. I can't wait to see you at the top. I hope you are impacted. And if you are, do me the honor, follow and subscribe to this channel. This is where you want to be. See, I'm a straight shooter. Forgive me. But that is who I am. I am passionate about what I do. And that is what I keep saying. And this is in all honesty. I yearn to see you do well. I yearn to see you understand what money really means. You need to understand the tool called money. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next.